So this video is going to be on solving equations with variables on both sides. So far you've seen two-step equations with variables with a variable on one side. Now we're going to see the same variable but on both sides. Some problems produce equations that have variables on both sides of the equal sign. Solving an equation with variables on both sides is similar to solving an equation with a variable on one side. You can add or subtract a term containing a variable on both sides of the equation. So we've got 9x minus 7 equals 3x plus 5. And that's what we're looking to solve. So what I like to do, I like to try to keep my variables positive because it seems like there's less mistakes made. So I'm going to take 3x from this side. Well, whatever I do to this side, I have to do to this side. The rules of equations remain the same. So I have 6x minus 7 equals, this cancels out, and it equals 5. So now I have my two-step equation. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides, and I get 6x equals 12. Now I have a one-step equation, and I'm going to solve for x. And I'm going to divide by 6 and divide by 6. So I get x equals 2. Now always put it back in to make sure that you've done everything right. I actually started filming this video and didn't divide right. I put that x equals 6 because I saw this 6, and I realized it whenever I went back to check that it was wrong. So let's put 2 back in. So 9 times 2 is 18. Oops. 18 minus 7 is 11, and 3 times 2 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So 11 does equal 11. It checks. My answer is correct. So let's do this one. Okay, again, I told you I do not like a negative variable. So if I subtract 4x from this side and subtract 4x from this side, I'm going to get a negative variable. I'd much rather subtract 6 from both sides first. And so I would have 4x equals x minus 6. And then now I can take this x from this side, minus x minus x. And so that gives me 3x equals negative 6. And so I'm sorry, skipping steps. I can divide by 3 and divide by 3, and so x equals negative 2. So let's try it out. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, plus 6 equals negative 2 is what it should equal. And negative 2 does equal negative 2, so it all checks out. Now let's try this one. I've got 9w plus 3 equals 5w plus 7. So I'm going to take the 5w away because I do not like negative variables. And I get 4w plus 3 equals 7. And now I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I get 4w equals 4. Now I've got a one-step equation. It's a multiplication equation, so I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. So w equals 1. So this is really putting together everything that you've learned about solving equations. So let's try this one. Okay, I can deal with the negative 5x by adding 5x to both sides. And that's what I'm going to do because I don't like negative variables. Equals plus 6x. And then now I've got a two-step equation. It's kind of written all backwards, but that's okay. So now I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I get 12 equals 6x. And then I've got a multiplication equation. I'm going to solve that by dividing. Divide by 6, divide by 6. So x equals 2. This seems to be a popular answer. So 3 minus 10 would be negative 7. And negative 9 plus 2 would be negative 7. So those are equal. Last one that we're going to do. On this one, I've got a negative x over here, so I'm going to add an x because I don't like those negative x's. And I get 4x plus 5 equals negative 7. Now you see, I'm not trying to do two steps at once. I'm not trying to not rewrite it and just keep it going. I'm taking my time and doing every step and showing my work. So now I've got a two-step equation. I'm going to subtract 5, and so I get 4x equals negative 12. Now I have a one-step equation. It's a multiplication equation. I'm going to divide by 4. Divide by 4, I get x equals negative 3. So, and I should have boxed all of my answers because that's real important that you show all of your work and that you can see the answers when you're done. So I hope this video has helped you understand how to solve equations with variables on both sides.